Good afternoon. I know I'm standing between you and lunch, so I will make it a very quick one. Let me recognize the Director of African Development Institute. Let me also recognize the excellent facilitators that we've had during the course of the week to get us to where we are. Recognizing the colleagues from the different countries, distinguished lawyers among us from member countries, distinguished financial advisors among us from member countries, our press officers, translators, the hotel management, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I said good afternoon to you again. Let me take this singular honor to thank the organizers for the singular opportunity given to me to really make a vote of thanks on behalf of our colleagues. It's been quite a remarkable week for us, interacting with these excellent, fabulous people around us here, before us here, throughout the week, talking about various areas as far as our debt negotiation restructuring is concerned. Among some of those key takeaways that we had a discussion here were basically the pricing mechanism in terms of sovereign loans, assessing the sustainability, which is very important. We had presentations across different experts here regarding the sustainability. How do you gauge yourself to make sure that you know what your current vulnerabilities are and how should you be able to position yourself. We talked about loan documentation. Of course, I must recognize our excellent, some people call him a teacher, some people call him a lecturer, some people call him facilitator, Victor, for an excellent presentation on the various documentation that were required for the loan negotiation and documentation. Excellent presentation. So we had discussions about managing debt service, arrears. Hanatu did a very good presentation on that. We really appreciate those things, especially as debt managers. One of the key areas that we are always exposed to is arrears, debt service arrears, and so on. So again, those takeaways, we really put those things into good use to make sure that, especially now, this takes us to cash management. How do you make sure that cash management is well handled at that level to make sure debt service is a priority? So those takeaways, we'll definitely take it as debt managers with us. Another area also that was really talked about here is debt transparency. And when we talk about debt transparency, that means the reporting mechanism to make sure that the debt data, is well validated. And of course, Dr. Adam also talks about that one, and that was really well presented, and we'll take note of that. In as much as really we have some challenges sometimes in terms of our sustainability and our exposure, but transparency is very, very important. Report it as it is, and that is when you can also get help. So we really want to really indulge on our key participants to make sure that they take those things on board. Another area also that we also discussed, and that was on the sovereign debt restructuring. That was a fabulous presentation yesterday. I really, really enjoyed those presentations from, again, our able lawyer, Victor, from African Legal Support Facility. But by and large, generally, the 5 days has been quite, really quite a well-used 5 days. It has been very extensive, and we touch on almost all the areas. And I really would want to encourage, through the director, Mr. Eric, to see if the opportunity affords. I think we should have a repeat of this kind of a training. I know there were a lot of materials, and of course the team were extensively used, because you can imagine starting here from 8:30 and going sometimes up to 6:30. I think some of us, that's why I could not even attend the social event yesterday, because I was kind of exhausted, and I had to pass on the social event. So, but we really would want director to really put this into consideration, and if the need arises, bring these experts together again for experience sharing. We learn from our sister countries a lot of good experiences that they've gone through. in terms of negotiation, in terms of restructuring, and so on. So we want to say thank you very much for sharing your personal experiences, for sharing your country experiences, for your expert experiences, and those experiences will go a long way in helping us as we move ahead in terms of managing our debts. As we know, ladies and gentlemen, debt management is one of the critical areas, and everything is anchored. For some of you who are currently in an IMF program, and I know most of your countries are in IMF program, the key anchor of the program mostly is debt sustainability. So debt sustainability are debt managers. Our role, your role, is very important. And of course, that is why the African Development Bank is here also to assist us in that direction as our bank, our regional bank, our member bank. So we really want to thank them once again for really organizing this. On behalf of everyone here, on behalf of our colleagues, really want to thank the African Development Institute, the African Legal Support Facility. There are other partner stakeholders that actually join hand with them to organize this event. We really want to see that hopefully whatever is learned here, not only have we gone through it, but we also must ensure that it has also gone through us so that at least we have some take-backs to our member countries. Thank you, and I cannot conclude without thanking the hotel management also for the good food that was really accorded to us, the facilities in the room that was actually accorded to us. We really enjoyed our stay here. Of course, we did not have enough time to really enjoy the room environment because we were, of course, Chirobere and the team really maximized the best out of us throughout the week. So we could not enjoy the ambience of the rooms as much as we wanted. But nonetheless, we really want to thank the hotel environment. The food were good. The food is good. The rooms were nicely, prepared, and everything really was accorded. And then the service delivery in terms of when you call them, within a short period of time, they are available to really support. I cannot also conclude without thanking sincerely the translators. For us, you can see the dynamics of this room. We have Francophone, we have Portuguese, we have English, and we have all these things. But, translators, they made it really easy for some of us to be able to follow some of these important discussions. So we want to thank you sincerely. Of course, the press officers, we also want to thank you sincerely. Some of us actually gave us the opportunity to really share our experiences through some press briefing. We really want to thank you also. Once again, as we draw close to this event, on behalf of everyone here, I want to really once again, in conclusion, thank the African Development Institute for this great opportunity and for all the services and all the coordination that has actually been put together to make this a success. Once again, I wish everybody a very successful return back to your member countries, and we hope to crisscross, at different events at some time. Once again, thank you very much. Juma Mubarak to all of you, and safe trips back home.
It is really interesting to see how time flies. It looks to me like it was just yesterday we arrived, but behold, we've been here for 5 days. It's interesting. But again, like I said, what is interesting to me is the energy that we maintained from the beginning up until now. It is highly appreciated. And we look forward to more of this. So on behalf of the President of the African Development Bank Group, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, and the Chief Economist and Vice President of the bank, Professor Kevin Urama, I want to kindly extend my heartfelt appreciation to all of you, the participants, the partners, and the government of Ghana for making this second edition of the PFMA Spotlight a resounding success. Thank you very much to all of you. For these 5 days, we have focused on tackling one of the most pressing challenges that Africa is facing, and that is the problem relating to public debt management as it relates to loan negotiation and also debt restructuring. But the interesting thing is that we have done it with clarity. We have done it with urgency. And we have also done it with purpose. I see we've shared several experiences that we have at our country level. We have debated strategies. We have also built a collective understanding of how we can negotiate smarter, how we can negotiate better, how we can restructure and manage our debt in a more sustainable way. I'm really impressed, like I said, by the enthusiasm that I saw in the room, the commitment, and the depth of knowledge that we all bring. And what impresses me about that is the fact that it's not just only the facilitators who have this wealth of knowledge, but even all of us. This is really impressive and highly appreciated. So thank you very much for these 5 days of training and discussions and networking. I always tell people when we attend meetings of this nature, let's not limit it to just talking here, interacting, and go. Networking is absolutely important. You may have a challenge you're facing. You may have a work you want to get done. In most cases, it is the network you build. Maybe another colleague in another country who are doing it well and doing it better. You just put a call across and you get a solution. So please don't forget to network and to maintain the network that you have made while you're here. There are a number of key outcomes that we can really relate and associate to these 5 days of meeting. I've also heard bold ideas coming out regarding what Africa needs to do better. And let me just state about 5 or so of them. The first one, on the first day, we heard loud and clear, was the creation of the Accra Club. You remember that? So I think I would say I'm proud that, in fact, proud to announce the conception. It's not the birth yet. It's the conception of this new idea about setting up the Accra Club that will serve as a forum for borrowers to share experiences and strategies on debt restructuring. Let's see how that conversation goes. But that's a very important, what I see as one of the key outcomes of this meeting. And if that happens, it could be a game changer because we envisage that it will empower the countries, not only the creditors, but also the debtors. One of the things you recall was that when negotiation, it's taking place, in most cases, the debtors are not in the room, only the creditors. So they state what the conditions are, and you just have to accept. So when we have borrowers also being on the table when discussions take place, that indeed will help African countries to manage the current situation they are in. The second bold idea I heard, it's about early warning and early action. And what that impresses on my mind is the fact that debt distress is avoidable. You don't necessarily need to get there. There are several actions you can take not to get there. So it is important, therefore, that we institutionalize early warning system, not for climate as we have it currently or for other risks, but also for debt. So that's one bold idea I also take out. So this requires that we enforce fiscal rules, we enforce debt rules, and we seek help early. It's just like health condition. If you wait until the last minute before you seek help for your health condition, perhaps it might have been too late. So what is important, therefore, is that when you are noticing some symptoms quickly ask for help. And that help could be what you need that will serve as your lifeline, that will help you to manage your challenge. And remember, we reminded you that the African Development Bank is your bank. We stand ready to work with any partner anywhere, just as we have done in this event, to provide solutions. And not just to provide solutions, but to work with you in implementing those solutions. The African Legal Support Facility is there. We are ready to work with them to support you. So remember to always tap into these resources that you already have available that can help you in dealing with the debt situation that you have. Then the third bold step I heard was the importance of reforming the global financial architecture. Call it debt architecture, call it financial architecture. What we do know is that Africa deserves access to longer-term, fair, and non-discriminatory financing. So we need to push for reforms that will allow African countries to borrow for development, not just for survival, which is what we seem to be seeing today. And we also must be ready to have bankable projects that can help us. We need to be ready to be able to tap into global financial products and resources that are available that can help us to lend at a cheaper rate, at a more concessionary rate, and also at a rate that will not jeopardize the health of our economies. The fourth important key outcomes of this meeting that I heard was investing in capacity. Investing in capacity. So what that means is that debt management is not just about numbers. It is about people. In one of the presentations, it was highlighted that because of the debt burden, the interest payment burden that the countries are bearing, basic human capital development, social services are suffering. Health, education, and so on. Some governments could not do them because they are paying a lot on interest on loans that they have contracted. So this indeed implies that we need to train our debt managers, we need to train our parliamentarians, we also need to train our policymakers. And this spotlight event, which is in series, as you know, this is the second of it, is just one of the several interventions that the bank has been making and will continue to make in support of all EU member countries. We have scaled up specialized training, technical assistance, policy dialogue, peer-to-peer learning, and support to countries across the continent. So we encourage all the countries to tap into these available resources. Feel free. We're available. We are just a call away. We're just an email away to help us know how we can help you. And we'll be happy to help you in all areas of capacity development, whether it is individual, whether it is institutional, whether it is organizational. And the fifth and final big ideas I heard that came out of this meeting is the importance of valuing our natural wealth. Africa has a wealth of natural resources that we need to value more properly. So I would make bold to say that Africa is not poor. We are simply undervalued. And that undervaluation is what we need to change by ensuring that we ourselves value our natural wealth so that we know our own worth. So we need, therefore, to revise our national accounts. We need to reflect our natural capital in our national accounts, which are not accounted for in a number of countries in Africa. And that is what will improve the credit worthiness of these countries. That is also what will change how the world sees us. That will also change how the world not only sees us, but lends to us. So let's keep that in mind. So these are very wonderful 5 big ideas that I'm taking away from this meeting. So the die is cast. The road is set. What we need to do is to work on it. So let me thank all of you for bringing these 5 ideas to life. Let me start by thanking the Honorable Minister, Honorable Dr. Cassel Atto-Forson, who was the Minister of Finance for Ghana, who was ably represented by Honorable Thomas Ampem Nyakun for opening this event. Like my colleague said, Mr. Krubali has really appreciated everybody. He has thanked everybody already, so he's made the job a lot easier. But let me just lend my voice to his voice to thank all of you for coming, for participating. Let me thank our keynote speakers, Mr. Olivier Pognon, and what people had described as our lecturer, Mr. Victor Ojia. He did an excellent job. Also, our colleagues, our 2 colleagues from the Global Sovereign Advisory, Rabi and Thuraya, you did very excellent job too. Thank you very much. Our faculty members who facilitated and moderated a number of the sessions, you deserve very high commendation. So thank you all. We really appreciate you. And now to Labadi Beach Hotel. Again, Mr. Krubali has thanked them enough. The food was good. The environment was nice. So we thank them for hosting us. And especially this event room is really super. So thank you very much, Labadi Beach Hotel Management, for helping us to enjoy this program. We also have our IT colleagues. We always call them angels. Angels because they are always behind the scene in making things to happen. You hardly see angels, or have you seen any? I'm not sure, we don't even see them. But they are there. So our IT colleagues are like that. A number of them are at the HQ, at the headquarters in Abidjan, pressing buttons to ensure that things go well. So we thank all of you IT colleagues who are offline and also those who are here online for helping to ensure that we enjoy this very important meeting. You see that there are no booths, there are no translation booths here, you know that? But you can hear in French and English. It's due to our IT colleagues who are at work. So we thank you, our IT colleagues. We appreciate all the contributions that you make. And our interpreters themselves who made it possible, like they say, they actually broke the wall of Babel. Some of us who are familiar with some religious history will know what that means. Helping us to hear ourselves simultaneously in 2 different languages is amazing. So our interpreters, if you can hear me, a very high appreciation to you for helping us to hear ourselves throughout the course of this. And our partners, the African Legal Support Facility, we called on you and you answer us. We appreciate you and look forward to calling you again. And for bringing in another partner, the Global Sovereign Advisory, we also appreciate you and also appreciate the Global Sovereign Advisory for also joining us in facilitating this very important meeting. And we have a number of colleagues, my colleagues who have also worked very hard, literally sleepless day and night to get this happen. You know what it means to bring people from 22 countries in Africa with the travel challenges, visa issues, and so on. And others came all the way from Canada, from the US. It's not easy. So please, let's give a very high and resounding appreciation to all our colleagues. And one of them, let me start with the country office here in Ghana. We have a large team here led by Mrs. Jerusalem Fasika, who deployed all their arsenal in Ghana, in Accra, to support us. Thank you very much, our colleagues in the Ghana country office. And now to the dedicated team at the African Development Institute, who worked very hard, especially the policy management unit or division of the bank. Please, you'll permit me to mention names because they did excellently well. And I'll appreciate you if you can just give them a very good, warm appreciative claps. The first is Dr. Sidwell Hove, who is the manager of the Policy Management Division of the African Development Institute. Thank you very much for your leadership in making this to happen. And Mr. Chidebere Ibe, who is task managing this very important intervention. We also thank you so much for your support and leading the team at the technical level. Mr. Nkwanyane Sebutswe, thank you so much for all the hard work. Mrs. Kamaria Badiru Epus Kwamina, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you for all the help. Mr. Gaurav Kumar is our IT person on hand. Thank you so much for all the help. And Mrs. Sylvie Odette Groga, merci beaucoup. Merci. And Mr. Alpha Tijan Cole, he's our intern. Excellent job. So thank you very much, colleagues, for all the hard work, dedication, and team spirit that helped us to achieve this very important event, success of this important event. So this Spotlight event has really demonstrated that it is more than a training. It is actually a movement, and that is what we want to make it to be. Let's make it a movement, not just a training we receive, we hear things, and we go. No. Let's make it a continuous conversation through which we can be sharing experiences, sharing information that can help us to improve on what we're doing on a daily basis. So we want this movement to be a movement for responsible borrowing. We want it to be a movement for transparent restructuring. We want it to be a movement for productive debt use. Like I said at the beginning, there's nothing bad about debt, but we know what is bad about it. The terms, you saw some clauses that could put some countries into trouble, and more importantly, the use to which you put the resources, the loan you get. Leakages are common features of many African problems. We need to plug them and close them. That is the only way we will actually show that that movement is ongoing. So let us take advantage of the knowledge we have gained, and I'll even call it wisdom that we have received here. Let us make good use of it. Let us remember to support ourselves, support one another. Let's see it's like the Ubuntu spirit. You are because I am. So if you are aware your friend, your colleague is having some challenges and needs support in the other country, let's feel free to provide that support. So let's be determined to make debt work for Africa, or work better for Africa. So we'll all continue to provide platforms as an institution, platforms that are required for learning, for collaboration. And we count on all of you to continue to come with us on this journey of engagement. So thank you all for your commitment. We wish you a very safe travel as you go back to your respective countries And please send our love and regards to your country authorities, that we appreciate them allowing you to come for this training. So thank you once again, and thank you.